On every episode of the Guys Podcast, we talk about the things that are most important to us, like sports, gaming, pop culture, and music. So grab a snack and get comfortable because for the next hour, you're hanging out with the guys. What's going on? Welcome to the Guys Podcast. I'm your host for this week, Caleb Pullum. We got Chris, we got Brad. We're ready to do this thing. Sorry for the short hiatus. Chris was traveling. It's been spring break for me. Other people kind of had busy lives. It's Ant's birthdays today. Shout out to Ant. So it's kind of been a busy couple weeks, but we're back. We're better than ever. We're ready to do this thing. So today's episode is episode 7. And it's going to be a bit of a different episode. So we're going to talk about some of the same topics, but we're going to kind of look at it through the lens of the coronavirus. We do understand that it is a pandemic worldwide at this point, and that different people have debates on the severity of the matter right now. But no matter what your opinion is on the coronavirus at this point, we do understand that it is a very, very big deal at this point. We'd kind of be doing you guys a justice on this podcast if we didn't talk about it. So this episode, it's going to be all the questions are going to be kind of based around the coronavirus and kind of our opinions on it. So let's get into the first topic. And sorry guys, I gotta do something. If you would just allow me to.
So, for our first question, this is about the NBA and its suspension. So, as you all know, the NBA has been suspended indefinitely because Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz have caught the coronavirus. This is a very, very sad time because LeBron James, in my opinion, is going to win the MVP this year and the finals. He is going to meet Giannis Antetokounmpo in the NBA finals, and it's going to be totally epic. So, join me in a moment of silence for the NBA. Okay.
All right, that's out of the way. So, guys, in all seriousness, the NBA has been suspended indefinitely. 2 players so far have been known to have caught the
3 players.
3 players.
3 players. Christian Wood on March 7th guarded Rudy Gobert like 53 times. He tested positive for coronavirus.
Wow.
3 players have caught the coronavirus. Did not know that, so that's news to me. And there's probably more to come. We'll see. But they have suspended the season indefinitely. What that means is that we don't know if it's going to come back. There's speculations on both sides. So my first question for you guys is, what was your initial reaction to hearing that the NBA season was suspended?
You can go ahead,
Chris.
Brad.
All right, I'll go. Man, my heart dropped, honestly. I had to check to see, like, my news thing came on my phone, and immediately I stopped what I was doing and I went and looked. Yeah, and then I heard about Rudy Gobert, and I was like, wow. Like, I don't know, man. It was a real, like, shocker. Like it was like surreal, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I never thought that would happen in my life. Like, and now seeing like all the major like sports doing it is just like mind blowing.
So my initial reaction was that same as Caleb's. LeBron, historic season. It's going to end with him not being able to get the chip because the word they used was not suspended. What did it say? Was it suspended they used? The wording they used made it seem as if it was done for like indefinite, for like it was going to cancel the season. Like the season had been called off essentially. So I was thinking, well, that kind of sucks. But then they kind of retracted and saying like, oh, this is kind of just a break, a hiatus. And the initial reports are that they're looking to resume mid-June. So I know that's kind of going further into the next topic, but the kind of like the thoughts of how they would do it. And essentially, from what I know, from what I'm hearing in the reports, is that the NBA has always, since Adam Silver's taken over, wants to start the season later. They want to start opening day, Christmas Day. So they want that to be
I saw
that
that.
new opening day. So they've always wanted to go through August, and this might give them a reason to postpone it. I don't know how I personally feel about that because I'm just so used to like November, like October, November, like, okay, basketball's back. Like, I'm happy. And it just slowly
Hmm.
ramps up. Whereas, like, I feel like Christmas start, like, it almost gives the intensity right away, which might be a good or bad thing. But then when you're like getting out of school, April, May time, it's when the playoffs hit. And it's just such a routine for me that, like, it's an exciting time. I don't know how I'll feel waiting until, like, all the way halfway through the summer to start playoffs. Like, that would be an interesting thing. But we're going to see how it works this season because there's not really a choice.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was Christian was actually the one who told me. He sent me a text. I didn't know. It's like, bro, you know the NBA is done, and I was
Actually
floored.
called you.
Yeah, I was floored. Like, um, so yeah, I mean, it's obviously sad, but I'm glad that they did it. Because obviously you wouldn't want players being sick,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't want fans and things
Whoa,
being in
Brad,
contact.
bro,
Yeah,
you
you
good?
good? You good?
Nah, that wasn't a cough. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all heard something.
Yeah, so you don't want players being in contact with fans. Bro, you got the Dasani?
Hmm.
Gross, bro. You're gonna catch it just by drinking that. Yeah. Hey, that
Bro.
came in perfectly.
What's wrong
That
with the
was perfect.
Sally?
I was wondering when we were gonna get to use it. Dude, you're gonna
What?
be more thirsty.
What?
You ain't seen have you seen the pictures like in the Walmarts and
Bro,
stuff of
on the
like the
Dasani,
pallets of Dasani still there?
man.
No one's
The
kidding.
reason I got it because there was no Aquafina left, and she religiously drinks
Yeah.
Exactly.
Aquafina. Drink. I've
No
always
one
liked
wants
Dasani.
that.
I've always liked Dasani.
Mm,
It's good. It's
But
water. It's at the end of the day,
interesting.
it's water. I don't. It's water.
You're right.
yeah, but it's
All
not
right.
good water.
What? How can there be a such thing
It's
as good
expensive.
water? I don't understand people when they say it's not good. It's
I
water.
mean, but yeah,
Now I can understand there's such thing as bad water, like
Flint, Michigan.
out of like yeah, like it
Well,
tastes like
what was
iron.
that one that was like tap water, like Everlast, that
Well,
bottled water?
I drink them all. If it says
I don't
filtered,
know.
I'm good. I even drink. I'm not even gonna just say that.
Hey, but don't
Everlast?
don't don't sleep on that Brita filter.
That's what I was telling people. Why
Oh,
not just filter your own
Yeah.
water? But
that's true.
Okay.
anyways,
Yeah.
back to the NBA. I'm
Yeah, so
sorry.
Chris kind of touched on it, um, that various officials in the NBA have been reporting that the NBA might not resume until mid June, if is what I believe they're saying. So first, this is like a two-part question. The first part is, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on them postponing it that long? And then secondly, do you think that they should just resume with the season and play the 19 or 20 games that they have left, or just go straight into the playoffs? So, Brad, we'll start with you.
Ah, man, I mean that's rough just 'cause like I mean I heard the like wanting to start it Christmas Day also. And I've been like trying to contemplate how I felt about that and like how it would like change things. So I mean pretty much in order for that to happen, like they would almost need to start the playoffs right away in June just to like end the season in time in order to start by Christmas Day. I mean, I think it'd be interesting. They got to do something regardless. Um, I kind of like the idea of Christmas Day because it's already so hyped. Like it's one of the biggest days like of the NBA year. That being opening day too, like I mean, like it already makes sense because it's just so big. But I could see either way.
For me, like I think it's a good idea. The big thing is like they want to avoid NFL, but like I'm
Hmm.
biased because I'm a bigger NBA guy than I am NFL. So like, yeah, the NFL's cool, but I'm gonna watch the NBA regardless. And I know that their thoughts are like we want NBA fans to or NFL fans to switch and watch NBA on. And so right now they compete for like 6 weeks or whatever it is, 8 weeks, and that transition time. But
Mm-hmm.
even if you start Christmas Day, you have to compete with the first few weeks of the season is the playoffs.
Yeah.
So like it's the and college football is around Christmas time, like right, it's winding down. So like I think that there's not really a huge benefit to it other than they'll dominate the summer because I think head to head regular season it's not even close. Would you rather watch regular season baseball or playoff basketball? With Christmas Day, I think that they're just trying to avoid competing with the NFL as much as possible. Um, but I just don't know if that necessarily will work because there's still going to be another month or so left. And it'll be great for Christmas Day ratings, but even Christmas Day has NFL games. So it's just hard to even envision what will happen. I think that they'll dominate the summer if they decide to push it further. Personally, I'm more of an NBA guy anyway, so I'm gonna watch regardless. So I don't know how what they're necessarily thinking in terms of the like non-traditional fans. In terms of playing the rest of the games this season, um, my initial thought is to evaluate it. Like once it gets to that point, you know you can come back to play without fans or whatever they decide to do. Is it feasible to play 19 more games and still fit in 4 rounds of best of seven? If that's going to take you into September, then I say you have to reevaluate and get everyone to the same number of games, whether that be 70 games, 65 games, whatever. They have to find a way to get everyone to a common number of games. That will probably cause them to have to redo tiebreakers a little bit because the way tiebreakers are in the NBA are built into everyone's mutual schedule for the conferences. And sometimes it doesn't come down to that just based on record, but since you're only playing a shorter amount of games, there might be like 5 teams that are exact same record. So they have to redo how they want to do the tiebreaker procedures. But my initial thought was just shorten the season so everyone gets to a milestone game, 65, 70 games, and then they could just push. Worst thing comes to worst, Stephen A. Smith said it on First Take. Like at the end of the day, if they're running out of time, just start the playoffs. Just seed it right now. Start the playoffs. It's better than losing the whole season. And it'll suck for the 9 seed on, but there's already more than half the league that makes the playoffs, so you can't really get upset about like seeding and all that. And then home court isn't going to really matter if there's no fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah, most of what you said I agree with. Like, just get to a certain number of games. Just that way, if they do like when they do go to the playoffs, teams kind of have a couple games under their belt to get that rust off, so it's not just sloppy basketball for playoffs. Um, so I do believe that they should kind of get everybody to a set number of games for the teams that really need it, like the 7, 8, 9, 10 teams that are kind of fighting for those last playoff spots. They should probably kind of work it so that they play each other a little bit more so that they can kind of work out those tiebreakers and
But like
work
I
out the
said,
seeding.
with that, the way the NBA does their scheduling is so like particular about how many people you play of the other conference, how you play in your division, outside of your division, but in your conference. It would mess up the common strength of opponent and everything. So like you almost can't do that. So like it's to a point where you almost either have to play all the games or you have to cut it off. Like it's almost unfair otherwise. But if you look at the standings right now, like there's a drop off. So from 8 to 9 in the East, the Magic are 30 and 35, which is sad, but they're in the 8 seed. And the 9 seed's 24 and 40.
Oh
So
yeah, you
that's
can
a
just cut
six
that.
game
Yeah.
difference. You could just cut it and play. In the West, you got the 8 seed 32 and 33, and then the Trailblazers 92 and 37. So that's like closer, but like even
92
if
and
you play,
37.
92 and 37?
Yeah.
or did I say 92, 30,
Yeah.
29? I'm
Wait, how many
dyslexic
games did they
apparently.
play?
29 and 37. Um, at the 9 seed. So like that's close. But even if you played what 5 games,
This
Trailblazers would have to
wouldn't make
win.
up the
Like
difference.
they'd still have to win out. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's
And
almost a cutoff or go forward.
one
And
thing
only 4 teams have clinched: the
one thing I
Lakers in the
will
West
say
and 3 in the East.
is that if they do cut it off, they can make a statement saying that teams should have cared about the regular season more.
They won't do that.
It's
What
like
I think
Yeah, that'd
that
it's like
be.
what I
y'all
think
were
that they put.
resting players
So how
and
about
weren't
this?
caring about seeding, but I mean now that we
What they
cut the
could
season off,
what they could potentially do is do a tournament where like the teams that have not that are like a certain seed,
Haven't
six or
clinched.
below or whatever. Yeah, like 6 through 12 play have a play-in tournament to the remaining seeds.
Ooh, that would go crazy.
So
Dang.
so something like that. Whereas like the top four or top six have already clinched or whatever. So 7, 8, 9, and 10 all play in a
Play.
tournament. So
That
like
would
yeah,
that would
so
go
it'd be
crazy.
the 7 versus the 10, 8 versus 9. They play a series to go into
I
those.
like that.
So like that, I think that's another way where they could like justify that. Okay, if you were 11 and lower, you weren't making the playoffs probably. And I think that works out well. But if you even look at the records of the 11, 12, 13 in the West, like the 8 seed has 32 wins. But then if you look at 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13, they're all separated by 3 wins. So like if you're in the West, the Suns are saying we're only 3 games back from the Trailblazers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just there's no perfect situation unless you just play it.
I
Um,
mean, like they're just gonna have to be understanding about it. I mean, like no one expected this to come out. Like whatever they come up with, like let's
yeah,
just
You gotta accept
and
it.
and,
like if
and the Players
yeah, like no matter
Association
what.
has they've already come out and said they're gonna do whatever. Like it's gonna mess up their
Yeah,
money if they throw a fit. It's gonna mess up their money for
exactly.
seasons to come. So they're just gonna have to do
The
what's
players
Like
best.
don't
that'd
look
be
like they care at
selfish, like to be
all.
concerned about that.
They
Yeah,
don't look like they
exactly.
care at all. They're chilling on streaming games and all that.
Yeah.
Like
Nah,
Every
LeBron's
Miles
upset.
Leonard, yeah.
LeBron's upset because he was hooping.
he was hooping. Giannis was hurt.
Giannis was hurt. Kawhi's been hurt. He gets rest. Like it's not good for LeBron, who's you know. And then they cut Boogie. Boogie would have been back if you don't cut him.
Well, no, I saw something.
Kevin Durant might come back, y'all.
Oh, I saw that too.
Kevin Durant might come back,
Imagine.
and they're in the playoffs, y'all.
The ratings though, when they do come back, oh
Oh,
my god.
through the
Oh my
roof.
god.
It's gonna be
Mm.
crazy.
Oof. All right,
Kevin
Chris,
Durant.
you wanna introduce the gaming topic?
Yeah. So, gaming for me, I want to talk about the impact because a lot of people don't really think about this unless you bring it up. But a lot of the big producers are having to work from home or shut down their studios, as well as production of these new next gen consoles. So my thinking is kind of like, um, what are your thoughts on like, would you still think that you were going to buy a game even if it didn't come out in its traditional window? And also, will you buying a console be impacted by the fact that they might not come out this year? So,
So so I don't necessarily think it matters that games get pushed back because I think as a consumer you would rather have a good game than them to rush it out. And you're paying $60 regardless for a game that's trash. Like Cyberpunk, it's been pushed back like
Yeah.
years. And it getting pushed back another time is really not going to matter to a lot of people. I mean,
Hmm.
you'll be disappointed, but when it comes out, you're probably still going to buy it. But with consoles, that's a different story because they're going to have to find a way to make people care about the current gen for that much longer. So they're probably going to have to
exactly.
release
And that
exclusive titles or whatever.
they haven't planned for that at all.
Yeah, they have not planned for that. And then when the next gen consoles do come out, they're going to be more expensive because the supply chain has been cut off because of COVID-19. Like all of the Chinese suppliers have had to like send people home from factories, so they're not being able to produce the RAM and the CPUs and all that stuff that needs to go into making the consoles. So because the supply is short, that means the price is going to go up. So you pay $600 for a console, now you're paying 750, and it might even
To
be
be
more
honest
than
with you,
that.
I think that these systems are already sitting in warehouses, if I'm being honest with you. But
I mean, they were supposed to come out later this year, right?
yeah, like so they might very well already be ready to go. And
Mm.
developers have already been, but I don't know. I don't know how that
At
technical
least
works.
having like some amount.
Yeah.
Dude,
For Go ahead.
what I found interesting. What you go.
I was gonna say like with like Caleb said that they haven't planned for this at all. So like they've been teasing it so hard and they've kind of put a window on it that it's kind of like gonna suck. But my thinking is for like yearly titles, Call of Duty, Madden, NBA 2K. If they're not able to launch in their window, it doesn't just mess up this year. It messes up
Mm-hmm.
subsequent years. If Call of Duty loses 3 months of production, they're pushing from October to November to January, February. Luckily, Call of Duty's in a great place where they have additional studios. So they're just all going to lose 3 months, but it's going to affect the timetable regardless. And for people like 2K, they already give us bare minimum for the amount of
And
people.
they're working on more games.
You push them back. This isn't even a good example because 2K might end up having to be released later because the NBA might start their season later. So that
True.
would actually help them. But say like Madden with EA, if they have to release in November because they lost all that development time, developers aren't able to work from home. They have kits and all that software and hardware that's running locally at their systems. They don't have those setups at home. They just work on Madden and mocap. Like they can't do that from home. So like if they push back to November, that's gonna set back future iterations of the game. And so one of two things could happen. They're just gonna have to play catch up and deliver a product that's not done, and people understand that, where they could still release it the normal date and just heavily patch it. They could release it later and then just say the next game will be affected. I don't know how they do it, or they'll have to hire a ton of more people and then split the development of the game so that they can kind of have like a crossover path. The problem with that is
They
then
lay off
people will
people.
start getting laid off exactly once they catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing EA, they don't like to divert resources from game to game because that hasn't been successful. When they move people from NHL to NBA, NBA's trash. When they move people from NBA to Madden, they don't know. Like they aren't very good at doing that. So I I'm a little bit worried about that. Gaming has been in an interesting place in terms of everyone's like, yo, let's just wait till next gen. Let's wait till like we got some heavy hitters coming, but let's wait. Why not? We'll make more money. And then the consoles itself, like all these developers are kind of going to be uncertain if they were promised this release date, and now who knows? So I think Sony and Microsoft will be fine. I think that they can pop out systems regardless. Like say they get back to production full strength in August. They're going to ship at least some of their systems on their promised delivery date. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
the the production of these systems, it doesn't take 14 days to make one system. Like they can probably produce hundreds of, or thousands every day. Like if Syncreon and Chrysler's making 1,000 cars a day, I'm sure that Microsoft and Sony can put out 50,000 a day or whatever, 50,000 units. So I'm not worried about that necessarily.
It's
Man, like y'all bringing that up, cause I'm like a Call of Duty League fan. I was thinking about that because like there's a lot of times when like those people and like fans of that, like they
The
want like what?
the good thing about that is that doesn't necessarily have to be affected because they can play those online and they can still
That's what I'm
live
saying.
stream. So
But
that's actually a
like
good thing.
but the thing is, like, it's the first like season of the league, and also
Yeah.
like if Call of Duty is going to be coming out later
Hmm.
than it normally does in October, November, like league had already started like late this season. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
like it started like in January, so it's just gonna have to start that much later. So there's gonna be a huge gap in between when they have like the like championship like tournaments like planned into where they're gonna have to like play the next event. Uh,
That's true. I
just
think
anything like that, like even like Counter-Strike, like I mean, I know it's the same game all the time, but they have like their own leagues and like their own like
maybe this
seasons
will
and
be a
stuff.
surge though, Brad,
No,
of
but
esports.
I mean, dude, like with all these athletes getting on streams,
because
like
ESPN is.
this thing,
I mean, they're searching for content
yeah.
right now.
Oh, dude. Oh, imagine like top
No, I,
tens
I saw
like
Madden on ESPN
gaming.
2 the other week.
Really,
It's pretty intense stuff. I don't
man,
understand
that's
how
gonna
there's
be
not more
interesting. I didn't
fights
think
that
about
happen because
ESPN.
every time there's a touchdown, they get up and like flex to the other person. Or like I can understand why you guys remember that Madden shooting. I don't want to like make this seem like a,
Oh yeah, dude, that was
but I
crazy.
can
Wait,
understand
what?
that.
What happened?
There was a shooting at a Madden event and people
Yeah,
were saying it was like mental health or no, like they got into an altercation.
he
He went and
lost,
got
right?
he lost, he got his gun and he shot him. Like
Yeah,
it's bad.
it was crazy.
It's really bad. It's really
He's a
bad, but
menace.
like I think people thought that all gaming rage, and I was like, no, like it's intense. Like
Yeah.
it's like a basketball game or a football game, like in person competition where one person loses and the other person takes exception, and they got upset.
Dude, especially gaming, because gaming can be so toxic. Like, and
Yeah,
it's like you could just
like bro,
talk
like
like a bunch of like,
exactly.
yeah.
It was a bad situation. Like I don't want to make fun of it, but at the end of the day, like it's no
No,
different.
not at all.
It's no different than like you losing at dice. You shoot dice and
And you
you
pull out the
taunt the
nine.
other guy. Exactly. It's no different.
All right, so let's move on to our last topic, which is pop culture. And with this, it's kind of a bit of a lighter subject. We're talking about toilet paper. More specifically, it's kind of gone viral this week that people have posted videos and photos in grocery stores and supermarkets, and paper all across North America, Canada as well, is sold out. So, what are your thoughts on the toilet paper crisis of 2020?
Man, like people are insane. Like, if you would just go to the store and shop for your normal amount of paper, like toilet paper every week, like it'd be fine. You'd be completely fine.
Or every 3 months. Like I don't.
Yeah,
I rarely
like
have to buy toilet. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, buy
yeah,
one big pack and you're fine. Like, what are you buying? A year's worth of toilet paper? You're gonna like, it's
but
insane, man.
3 years
Like,
worth of toilet paper.
yeah, dude. Like,
Like
my uncle's out
72
of toilet
rolls.
paper right now. Like, we're the one thing you shouldn't be having to worry about. Like, there's medicine that you could probably worry about. Like, man, tissues even.
Toilet
Like,
Yeah,
paper.
that's
yeah,
the
some
thing,
Tylenol
Brad.
maybe. But what,
That's the thing. Like, out of all things that are essential to living, toilet paper is not on my list.
dude?
Like, worst case scenario, just get in the
Get in the
shower or something.
shower.
Like,
Yeah, like what? Dude, there was a 40-person wait at the Walmart down the street when I went the other day.
yeah,
They had cones for lines. Like, it's insane.
yeah. Woodman's was insane, and they were some sick people in that Woodman's, man.
Oh. Yeah,
I'm
dude,
telling
people
you,
just coughing everywhere, like
bad. Like, not
just holding
regular.
your breath.
Excuse me. It was like,
No.
yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I might be infected. We'll see.
Dude, we might all be at
Yeah,
this point. Like, who knows?
it's ridiculous. And like y'all said, like I don't understand of all things why toilet paper, like water. I mean, I can understand
Yeah.
that, and water was sold out. Like I can understand that.
Not
I can
Dasani though.
understand like food. I can understand like food items and vegetables and Tylenol, first aid kits, stuff like that. But toilet paper, like I don't know.
So interesting. Dude, the
It's
media is throwing it like crazy too because they keep reporting on all the toilet paper
yeah,
that's being bought and
and
that
so
there's
people are going out
shortages.
and buying
So
toilet
people
paper.
freak
Like,
out more.
Bro, the thing is, the
Yeah,
story
Amazon
was,
sold out. Like
yeah,
what?
the story was
How is
that
Amazon sold out?
the story is that China produces toilet paper and they send it to us, and then they're no longer going to sell toilet paper. But that's not true. Toilet paper is manufactured in the United States as well, and it will continue to be on shelves. And like
yeah,
even stores have posted like we're gonna have more shipments. Like
Yeah,
chill,
dude, every
like
chill
morning.
out.
yeah, like I just went to a Family Dollar and there was plenty of toilet paper.
Like it's
So,
crazy, man.
but Walmart, yeah, chaos.
Yes. It's like Black Friday for toilet paper. That's what it is.
It honestly is. People fighting. Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
dude. Just
that
everybody's
is
sick
just
this time.
yeah, that's crazy.
All right. So let's go on to. We're gonna do something a little bit different. Instead of one gotta go, we'll do only one can stay for our last our kind of closing segment.
Okay, I like
So
that.
for this one, it's N64 games. So we got Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye 007, Smash Bros 64, and Madden 64.
Oh wow, I don't know who wants to go first.
Okay, so
So we're doing this in like reverse,
yeah, so
what we usually
the
do.
one that for me can go first is Madden.
You're tripping. Madden 64 is the greatest
I
Madden
mean,
there's ever been.
I didn't even play that Madden, so
Wow.
That's the one
Madden
with
I didn't really
64,
start
where the
Madden
ambulance
until
came on
'05,
the
like
field.
'04.
The ambulance came on the field. Not the ambulance,
What?
like literally drove on the field, picked up a player,
Just
and
ruining the
the,
grass.
yeah,
But yeah,
What?
and the player you would never know what injury they had because they would all be just
just
laying flat
laying
on their
out.
back, and they would come and pick them up.
Just paralyzed
And it
every
would like
time.
it would just say like and it immediately showed you the injury. It would say like broken leg. Like as soon as he hits the ground,
And the
broken
ambulance
leg.
came
Like
up.
it's not even like the trainer comes on. Like now they like update you after the fact. It's like immediately broken
Y'all,
ribs.
yeah, like
Yeah,
broken. He has 4 broken ribs. I can tell.
exactly. It's insane. But for me, like that's the greatest man of all time. Hot take, but the one that's gonna go for me immediately is GoldenEye,
GoldenEye.
and I'll tell you
What?
why. Screen cheating.
Mm,
Screen cheating.
I mean,
I
that's part of the
can't do
fun.
it. No, it's not at all. I
Yeah, it
hate
is.
it. I
Cover it.
hate it. You can't. You
Because it's
literally,
horizontal?
there's no reason. There's no way. If you're playing four players, there's no way to divide the screen.
Oh, dude,
And
there's
it just was
ways.
so annoying. And like I said in previous episodes, we didn't have a memory card. So it's not like we
Uh,
could even play the story to the end. We played the first and second level, and then it reset every time. So Golden Eyes for me is first off the board. Gotta go.
mm, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to agree with Caleb just because I didn't even play it. Like, how am I
That's
gonna
fair.
like say that's gotta like
That's fair.
I don't know. I didn't even play the game.
That being said, second off the board is Madden 64. For
Oh
me,
my
So why
gosh,
don't
it's
why
all
don't we
time.
dude.
replace Madden 64 with Super Mario 64?
I didn't want two Mario games.
Okay.
And I think that pretty much everyone can agree.
It's the best one.
Nah, maybe people won't agree that that's the greatest game on the 64. No, we can change
Mm,
it. I think it's the greatest Mario game
Cause
on the 60
that makes it a
on the
little bit
64.
tougher for me, honestly.
Yeah, let's switch it. Oh,
So
I
so
didn't
we're gonna do
even.
Super Mario 64
Yeah,
instead of
so we'll
let's.
do
Madden.
Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, Smash
Uh,
Bros, and Mario Kart.
uh,
Okay, for me then, GoldenEye's gotta go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. If that's the change, GoldenEye's the first for me.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be mine too. That was gonna be my second for the other one,
Yeah, if
but
that's
now
the
that you
change.
switched it, it's my first.
My
No, that's a
second.
tough. That's a tough three.
Yeah, that is.
So are we? Is this like back when 64 was in its heyday, or just now?
Say now.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Either it doesn't change much for me.
Yeah, because I don't play them that much now
I would
anyway.
But
say for me,
I see what you're going for though.
Mario Kart has to go second.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's tough. It's very tough. But Mario Kart has to go.
wow.
Okay, so for
Uh,
me,
is it gonna be Mario Kart 2?
Smash Bros. is go ahead, Brad.
Oh god, I was just making facial expressions, dude. This is hard. Man, honestly, man, dude, 'cause I played Mario Kart so much. I played Smash
Exactly.
Bros. So
Mario
it's
Kart
gonna,
was my
dude. Honestly,
most
it's gonna
played.
be Super Mario. Honestly, I think Marina's gonna hate me for saying that too. She loves Mario.
So
Uh, yeah.
for me, playability now, it's easily Smash or Mario Kart. But like playability, we played Mario Kart way more.
Hmm.
Um,
That's what I'm saying.
but Smash had Link.
I don't know.
Smash Bros. Gotta go, man. Smash Bros. Gotta go.
What?
That's tough. Because
That's
my
tough.
top two are Super Mario 64, right? And Smash Bros. Super
So Smash Bros
Mario.
is your one?
Super Mario is arguably the greatest game on the console. It kind of redefined 3D games. but Smash Bros. Got to stay. That's
Mm.
that's the one that if you're gonna just have one game to play on the 64 to run, just put it in a museum and say this is the most fun you can have on the Nintendo 64. It's Smash Bros. With 4 controllers that are all different colors.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's
100%. That's exactly what I was gonna pick.
yeah, it's just hard to get rid of it because I mean that's the one that holds up the most. It's the one that you could play today and still have just as much fun. Like Mario Kart, it's kind of boring. Like now that you play it, I mean, it's you could still have fun with it, but there's only like what 20 maps or whatever and like 2 game modes. So I mean, it kind of gets boring, especially if you're playing by yourself. Even Smash Brothers, even by yourself on the 64 is still fun.
Um, so for me, Super Mario's got to stay. I think it's one of the greatest games of all
Hmm.
time. Campaign, um, and that one, did we actually get to play for some reason? It like locally saved. I don't
Yeah,
know what. For
we got to
some
save
reason,
that
we
one.
actually saved that game, and we didn't
Mm.
need a memory card. So maybe that's what's going to get higher on the list. But the 87,000 Bowsers that you had to fight at the end of
Yeah.
every level. But I think it was just well put together. I think it was iconic.
The
When you
music,
first load up, it says, yeah, music. Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I baked a cake for you, which is an extreme setup by Bowser. Poorly written letter, but Mario fell for it. So, hey, that's my list. You can't go wrong with it. Well, you can go wrong with three. You can't go wrong with three of those games. Double Act, 007.
the campaign is
It's
fun.
Yeah,
great
compared to
I
games.
those
played it.
three.
I played it
Yeah.
like the emulator. It's fun. It's just back then we didn't have the card, so. And then they have
Yeah.
like special modes, like big head mode and zero gravity, and like they have special modes
I
that you could put in the
mean, it's a
cheats
good
for we didn't know
game.
about.
All great game, but I'd rather play Tony Hawk, the blue
True,
cartridge.
Tony Hawk.
Uh, Ooh, that would have been hard.
All right, we got the one more, right?
Yeah. So the last one, so you can only keep one, is family party games. You got Monopoly, Sorry, Connect Four, and Uno.
Uh,
I think this
Oh
is
wow,
I think this is harder than One's Gotta Go.
y-
it's way harder.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Man, that's hard,
Mm.
wow.
but I
Okay,
like it.
my first to go. Man, my first to go. Sorry,
Mm.
first to go.
See,
Sorry.
before you go,
I don't even
sorry.
know.
The concept wise of sorry, I agree that the other ones just have more replayability, but sorry teaches kids how to be savages,
I just
how to not
Yeah,
care about the feelings of other people, which is good and bad.
it's
not to
just
say sorry.
it's,
But I'll say Connect Four. I just
you're
played Connect Four last
Mm.
night, man. But
sorry.
Connect, if I'm just putting them in order, I'd rather run a game of Sorry than Connect Four. If we had 4 people and we're just chilling, I'm running Sorry.
Nah, man. Sorry, I'm gonna agree with Caleb just on this list. Sorry, I love the game, but
Yeah.
on this list, dude, you're gonna pick
You know
Connect
what?
Forward. Can,
You know
dude,
what? You're right,
I'm-
and this is the only reason.
iMessage.
No, 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 not even that. Connect Four is more skill than Sorry. Sorry is a luck of the draw. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with Sorry as my first off the board, simply based off of that fact.
Hate to see it. Sorry.
dude, these are perfect, and they're all to Chris.
No, that was to sorry. That was an F in the chat to sorry.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, for me, second. This is where it gets hard.
I already have my second, so just to get out the way, Connect Four.
Yeah, you Connect Four. For me, it's Uno.
Oh, how do it's too hard.
It's really hard. It's really hard. but I'd say for me, this it's Uno. I mean, it's a really, really, really good party game. But compared to
It's the
Connect Four
best
and
party game.
Monopoly, it's not. It's not the same because Uno again, it's luck. It's not skill. You don't have to think about it.
That's
Like
debatable.
You gotta play cards at the right time.
That's
it's,
exactly.
but it's not as skill based, not as thoughtful as Connect Four, in my opinion. The Connect because
About the
Connect Four,
same, in my opinion. Connect Four is just higher stakes. It's a quicker game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Connect Four has so much replayability though.
That's fair.
Like it's so fast.
man, you could
That's
run a
fair.
tournament of Connect Four, and
Exactly.
That's fair.
Um, I think mine, man, I think it might have to be Uno too. I can't. There's no way I can do Connect Four because I ran tournaments on that
yeah,
like summer camps, like elementary school. Like it's so fast you can play all the time, and then like that and Monopoly. Like it's got to be Uno. I love Uno, but I mean,
Yes,
like, dude, think about like the skill that has to go behind Monopoly too.
that's fair. Off the rip,
It's
though.
a whole real estate market thing. Like,
So off the rip, Monopoly, hot take, takes some skill, but it is a lot of luck.
yeah,
So I think it's a great metaphor for life. But that's a different story for a different day.
okay.
Uno is the best if you're playing by the proper rules.
and
I heard there
exactly,
wasn't. I heard there was different rules.
exactly.
There's
Like
not different
and
rules.
and
There's
Uno,
one
it
rule
gets it.
set.
It always
Yeah.
is an argument because nobody plays the right way. Everybody has their own
So,
rules.
so that's my one stipulation. Same with Monopoly,
Same
though.
with Monopoly.
You
Wait. So what
gotta
are the
play
rules?
by the. You can't. Okay, so
Like stacking
you can't
cards.
stack cards. If you get a draw two played to you, you have to draw two, and then it's not your turn anymore. When you draw
Okay.
cards, you don't pick them until you get a card you can
You
play.
just
You
take
pick
one.
one card. If you can play it, you play it. If you can't, it's the next person's
Oh,
turn.
that's way better.
It's yeah, like
Wow.
exactly. It makes it
So you're gonna
more
get loaded up
competitive.
with 20
Exactly,
cards.
because you have 27 cards in your hand, and you're like, what's the point? It's
I like
one
the real
card.
one.
Okay, and
What
this
the
is a
heck?
rule that most people don't know. You can only play a draw four wild if you have no other option.
No.
So if I play a draw
Oh,
four
okay.
wild, it's because I don't have a color that color. If I play it and I actually do have that color, I have to draw six cards instead of them drawing four.
Wait.
But
Okay. Question. How would you know?
it's an honor system.
Mm.
So, but you
But you could
challenge it. Like
just
the
never
person
draw
after
six
him.
cards.
So if you play the online version, you'll see.
Oh,
No,
okay.
if you play
The
the online
online.
version, you'll
Okay.
see. It'll say like, no, I think they have. Like I'm gonna challenge that, and then they draw six. Um,
Okay.
so you can actually play a mind game, act like you never had that card, or like um change the color to a
Oh,
green, and then it's dope.
that's
I'm
interesting.
telling
So
you,
you can like challenge,
you can challenge if they actually had to play that
like
card.
have that.
It's so
Okay.
essentially draw four wild card is meant so that it's your last resort.
Nice.
Like
All right.
I
I like
can't
those.
play a color. So I think Uno is slept on. If you play the Facebook online Uno, you'll see why it's the greatest.
It's
All
fun,
And
right.
but
Monopoly second because I ain't got 4 hours to be playing every game. But I love Monopoly.
it's fun. But Monopoly's got to go with as well for me.
Oh.
Um, and here's why. It's a really good game, but it has two downfalls. The first is that everybody plays by different rules, and if you are playing by different rules and like you get into an argument or like it's just not fun because you don't know if you should say something or like you have to play by the house rules. And it just kind of makes the game less fun. Like so if you're playing within your household, like if you're playing with people you know y'all have the same rules, it's cool. But if you're playing just in a party setting, it never really works out. Secondly, it takes way too long.
Yeah, it
Monopoly, I
does.
mean, if you have was it 6 players? If you have the
Hmm.
full the
Ye-
full set of people playing Monopoly, you could
So
be
I think it's
sitting there,
eight.
oh, eight, six to
Might
eight
be two to
people.
eight.
what if you have a
I thought it
full
was 8.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you have a
six
full
and
squad of
12.
people running Monopoly, you can be there for a good 4 or 5 hours. Let's just be real.
Oh, easily.
So
Unless you're
Like if
playing the
you're
online version.
playing like how you should be.
yeah, like if you're actually playing the right way, like you're gonna be there for a while. So it's a good game and it's always
Hmm.
fun, but it's just like I don't know, especially if we're just saying specifically party games or family games, family party games. It's just not one of
You
those that you
said
can just
Connect
whip out.
4?
Yeah, it's not one of those that you can just whip out and just have a good time with. Like Connect
Yeah,
4,
you gotta be prepared. Like if you're playing the right way and stuff. It's like okay. I was saying like it's like a game night game. Like you gotta like be able to sit down and be prepared for that. Unlike like a Connect Four, I want to try this new Uno. My answers still stay the same, but I
I'm
still want to
telling
try it.
you, I gotta invite you on Facebook, man. And especially when you're
All right, do
talking,
it.
you're communicating, and you finesse the other. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
send me an invite. I want to check it out.
But let's
there.
be real, man. Greatest party game of all time, Fusion Frenzy.
Oh, okay, of course.
Just kidding. Just kidding. But
Just
yeah,
overall.
I
So
think
what was your answer, Chris?
mine is. So if I had to order them, it'd be Uno, Monopoly, Connect Four. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I
Man,
go
I
ahead.
think might be Connect Four, Monopoly, Uno. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. You just can't go wrong with
Connect
that
Four
Connect
though,
4.
y'all. I mean, I guess. I
Yeah.
You
guess. I
can't go
guess.
wrong with it. It's classic.
It's
It's simple
classic.
yet sophisticated.
It's so
Right.
fast. Like you don't have to worry about it. You're just like, all right,
Yeah, I can
like
sit down,
just thinking like when
get
you
a
were
good
like a
game going,
kid, like you go to the game. Yeah,
run it
exactly.
back.
I was more of a
Yeah,
guessing guy.
like run it back. All right, 30 seconds will go by.
Right. I'm more of a tic-tac-toe guy, but whoever goes first wins.
All right, that's not a board game though.
Whoever goes first wins every time in
Tic tac toe?
tic-tac-toe, though. Yeah.
Nah, not if you're good.
Nope, there's
Yeah,
a
you could have
method
counters,
to it.
bro.
All right.
You could
Well,
tell Chris isn't a very good tic-tac-toe player.
well, I
Wow.
think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Guys Podcast. Thank y'all for checking us out. It's been real. It's been a good episode. Episode what 7?
Believe
Any
so.
last closing remarks from you guys? Anything you gotta get off your chest?
No, I mean, hopefully we can get a live stream with a good number. I think the max we've ever had is 6. So hopefully one day we can have 8 and just chop it up in a live stream. But we'll see. See, maybe Thursday. Maybe I don't want to put any promises out there. We'll see. Because I'm away from. I'm also mentioned I'm away from home. Sorry, as you can tell. So we'll see when I'll be back.
When do you get back?
In there, I don't know. I delayed my trip
Oh, yeah.
home, so we'll see. Rumors are that they're closing airports, so
You might be stuck.
we have.
They're packed right now.
because everyone's trying to get back and stuff.
Hey.
So
Chris, you still getting that check? So
yeah,
I know,
but,
lucky,
there's
man.
there's no promise to that.
that's true.
Like if I can't get back till July or whatever, I don't know what's gonna happen. So at the end of the day, I just want to be healthy and safe, and we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
As far as me,
go ahead.
Oh,
No.
wow. No,
Nah, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Nah, I was just saying, man, y'all stay safe. I know y'all are all in different places, man. Everybody stay safe. It's pretty crazy. I didn't think it was gonna be where it is a week ago to where it is now. So
100%.
just be safe out there.
Yeah, same. Stay safe and wash your hands. Don't just use hand sanitizer. There's
Yep.
no reason why the soap hour should.
And that's sold out
And
too.
hand sanitizer should not they should both be sold out. Just saying. But yeah, that's been the Guys Podcast. Thank you all for sticking by this long. We'll have hopefully a more full episode with more guys next time. But until next time, I'm Caleb. Peace out.
Chris.
Brad.